Well, good morning, Orlando. Once upon a time, people didn't think I got up early enough to do this show, so I used to do a daily hit on Fox 35 before we even came on the air, and very often I was talking to our next guest. His name is Ryan Elijah. Morning, Ryan. Good to chat to you again, man.
Good morning. Good to be with you again, my friend.
So, you were on Fox 35 for a large number of years. You've quit to challenge Corey Mills for Congress in Florida's 7th Congressional District. Let's, when I find people running for office for the first time, I start with one question, and it's not an invitation for a free commercial. Why are you doing this?
You know, Simon, it's a great question. I was at Fox 14 years. I was a public figure. It's a very similar job, which is something I've looked at for a long time, that if there was something else I felt I had a skill set to do, it would be this job where you're listening to people, you're representing them, you're fighting on the issues, dealing with federal issues that we felt a lot. So that's a part of the why. I think affordability is a big issue. I think electability is a big thing. And I looked in the past year, some people took me down to Washington and said, this is something that you may want to look at. And as I started to make calls, I kept hearing the same thing over and over. And then once we got in, we have heard that just an overwhelming response. So that's the why.
Okay, it's probably the most dysfunctional place anywhere in the country.
Yeah,
my dealings with Congress, where if I want to get things done, you know, I'm a veterans advocate. We often work behind the scenes stuff. We never bring on the radio to help individual veterans out. That stuff, members of Congress who care are actually very good at. But the governance is awful.
Well, and I think that's why you see where the level of respect and really effectiveness of Congress is across the country. And it's not that we don't have good members of Congress. We do have some down there. There's just not enough of them. And you look at the national debt and just issues that every American looks at and says, we've got to control government spending. We've got to do this. But yet we continue to see it go higher and higher. And it's just got to be a commitment. And I also think in Speaker Mike Johnson's defense, he needs more Republicans on his side so he can't be held hostage over some of these issues. And we can see progress.
Right. Okay. Look, you've been you're a long-time Florida resident. You've raised two boys. By the way, they're both mini-me's. Oh my goodness.
I get that a lot.
They're a spitting image of you. So you've done that, and you have this wonderful family here, and that place is just so dysfunctional. You know how it works, right? If there's something you want to get done, Ryan, that's really important to you, and let's say you get elected, the people of the 7th Congressional District, you know there's going to be the knock on your office door saying, well, you know, I could probably support you on that, Ryan, but I'm going to need your help with this. That's right. How it works.
Well, and that's one reason, Simon. First of all, I've got some really key friends and backers in Congress. I wouldn't get in this if I didn't. I've been able to kind of, through them over the last number of years, understand how some of these issues work, the give and take on some of these issues. But one thing I want to use is just certainly my connections here, my relationships. You talk about some of the law enforcement, the sheriffs. I've met with them already, CEOs, talking to one of the largest employers in town about things they need. In some cases, it's getting that money from Congress, those one issues at a time that make life better here in District 7. We've been kind of in the headlines for the wrong reasons. Let's get back in the headlines for the right reasons.
All right, let's talk about some of the things that you want to do. I've already mentioned the military. You come from a military family, right? Your dad and granddad served.
That's correct. You know, military is a big part of it. You know, if I look at the issues, Simon, that really drive me, affordability has got to be at the top of the list with people. I mean, we've got to get energy costs down. I'm hopeful the Iran war is reaching a conclusion. I think the President and Secretary of War know that. That's going to help. Government spending is one thing that drives me crazy, and the fraud. I was a huge fan of DOJ. Strong military and strong police. I mean, I've already met with a number of military groups already just in these 3 weeks and met key people that Orlando's got. NSA Orlando, that is just a huge Navy training facility out there that a lot of people don't realize is the number 2 behind tourism. Billions of dollars a year flow through Central Florida. We just brought someone on staff that's close to the veterans group. So, I mean, that is going to be a big focus as we move forward, because we've got, just in Seminole County alone, 53,000 veterans. I mean, that's a big group, and you got to not only take care of the military, but you got to take care of your veterans.
Absolutely. Healthcare is obviously a big deal as well, Ryan, in people's budgets and how they're going to cope with life.
Yeah, it is for sure. And that's where I'm talking to a few CEOs, and I'm very familiar with this. I mean, in our business, you have to be really involved in this issue and know it from a lot of different angles because you have to be ready to talk to people about a lot of different things. I'm big on less regulation, to drive down costs. Healthcare is not an easy thing to fix. We've seen in the headlines a lot. We've got to get premium costs down. If you go to the hospital, you're paying 2 or 3 times more, if not more, than you will somewhere else. We as Americans are paying more money for pills. I mean, these are all issues we need to address. And as you said before, it's complex because you've got to get both sides working together, but that doesn't mean you don't attack them. And at least in some things, we've driven, for 10 pills anyway, driven those down. We need more progress like that.
Absolutely. I'm the idiot that works both ends of the clock. I have an afternoon show, and it's in Iowa, which means if you're running for president, you quite literally have to come and sit in my studio. Repeatedly, I heard Make America Florida.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, and a lot of the issues we deal with, I mean, when you're talking about data centers, Florida's kind of acted before other parts. And I think a lot of people like the direction Florida's gone. Governor DeSantis has done a great job of that. And we need to just keep putting some of those things at the federal level. I mean, we're in good hands, although certainly the most recent Florida legislature has struggled to get some things done. But in terms of the past several years, we've gone in the right direction. I think people want these freedoms when it comes to school choice and those issues, and Florida has done that. We need to move some of those more to the federal level, which is a bigger challenge.
Well, it's good talking to you. We let every candidate give out their website before we let them go, so off you go.
Please do. ElijahForCongress.com. It's got all the issues on there. Also find Ryan Elijah on Facebook and Twitter. We post a number of issues. We post where we're going, and it's just a great way to stay in touch with the campaign.
I look forward to having you back on a regular basis after if you are to win and go forward. It's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to need to talk about. In the meantime, Ryan, thanks very much. Be safe out there on the trail. And we will talk again. You take care.